In today's video, we are going to be discussing the very curious case of Sherri Papini. Sherri Papini is the young California supermom that went missing a few years ago and was gone for almost 3 weeks. Whenever she showed back up, she was running down the street. She had her skin branded, her hair cut off. She had chains around her body. She was all battered and bruised up. And we still don't know what happened to her. There's a lot of speculation about this case. Was it a hoax? Was it a joke? Did she run away? Was she abducted? We're going to discuss all of that today. Before we get into it though, I do want to remind you guys that today's video is only to discuss very public news and for entertainment purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody, everywhere, in your everyday life, in the grocery store, in your home, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance on hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know. Y'all are my babies. So good morning. How's everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. I hope that you all had a very happy new year. I hope you brought in the year with a bang. It is now indeed 2020. This is crazy. Okay, it is so crazy. Like where, I don't want to be that person. Where has the time gone? But literally, where has the time gone? By the way, if you guys have not noticed, I am off of my schedule, my Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule that I was doing over here. I'm not quite sure when and if that schedule is going to be coming back. There's a lot going on in my life right now. As you guys know, I have the new show coming out on Bravo very soon. It comes out January 20th, Spy Games. You guys please tune in. If you are out of the US, I am still waiting on an answer if there's a way for you guys to watch. I'm sure there's got to be a way. If there's a will, there's a way. There's got to be a way. But either way it goes, I plan on hopefully reviewing it on here if I'm allowed to. But I'll keep you guys posted on all that too. So hashtag Team Christina. And make sure you have on your notification bells. That way you know whenever I do upload. I am going to be uploading still as much as I can. But I don't know what all is going to be happening here pretty soon. It may get a little crazy. So bear with me here. So let's get into this story about Sherri Papini. I'm going to give you guys a rundown here in the beginning. Then we're going to discuss some theories. We're going to discuss some rumors. We're going to discuss what they said, what Sherri Papini and her husband and the police department, all those people said. And then, of course, as always at the end, I'm going to give you my opinion and what I think happened. So let's get into it. Sherri Papini was a young married mom. Young, blonde, beautiful mom, married to her husband, and they had 2 small children. Sherri Papini was described by her family and friends as a super mom. There was things that people said that like, if she made a pie, she didn't just make a pie, she made a beautiful pie, or all of the things that she did in her everyday life. She was just considered like this amazing mom, this amazing wife, this just amazing super mom-ish type of person, right? Maybe she can give me some tips because Lord, I'm barely making it here. Okay, but moving on. So supposedly her and her husband had this amazing marriage, picture perfect, you know, neighbors next door, the whole shebang, the white picket fence, that type of thing, right? Lovely, beautiful life. Well, on November 2nd of 2016, Sherri gets up, hubby goes to work. Sherri takes her kids, drops them off at daycare, does whatever she's doing, Sent her and her husband text back and forth a little bit during the day, nothing out of the ordinary. And then whenever her husband gets home from work, usually when her husband walks in the door, he's used to the kids running up to him, Daddy, missed you, love you, that whole thing. Well, he opens the door and it's dead silent. Nobody's in the home. So he goes walking through the house. He's looking, opening doors. Where are they at? He doesn't see them. He calls Sherri. She doesn't answer the phone. He's like, Where could they be? So he gets his phone and he looks at the Find My Phone on his iPhone to see if he could find where she is. And it showed where his wife Sherri's phone was. And it was a little bit of ways. They didn't have mailboxes at their actual house in this neighborhood. It was one of those neighborhoods where you had to drive up to the mailbox. So he drove up there, gonna surprise his wife, whatever, and she's nowhere to be found. So then he calls his mom. His mother had not heard from her. Then he calls the daycare to see what time Sherri picked up the kids from daycare. He's standing out there by these mailboxes like, this is strange. It's ringing, the daycare picks up. Daycare picks up, hello. He says, hey, what time did Sherri pick up the kids? And they say, she never picked up the kids. The kids are still here. At that moment, he knew something was wrong. Something was not right. He hangs up the phone with the daycare and he starts looking for her phone because her phone was showing that it was in that area where he was standing. He walked around, he found this little grassy area, and there on the ground was his wife's phone and headphones. It was nicely and neatly set there on the ground. It wasn't like slung or thrown. It was all wrapped up and put together just like that. He immediately decides to take 2 pictures of it so he can get a picture of exactly the way the phone and the headphones look while it's laying there. And then he calls the police department. The police department come rushing out. They start filing a police report. He is freaking out at this point. Like, where is my wife? She would not just leave, right? She would not just not pick up our kids from daycare. She's super mom. And why is her phone and her headphones here? Now, Sherri's husband said that she goes jogging, and that's kind of the area that she was jogging. And you think the headphones, the phone, that's a normal thing. You know, you're jogging or whatever. So what happened to her? The cops were stumped. They had no clues. Before you know it, it made the news. Everybody was talking about it. It was tons and tons of like newspaper articles and news reportings. And the husband started doing all of these interviews on television, begging for his wife to come home. Her family, her sisters, like everybody was freaking out like what happened to Sherri, but they were trying to hold hope that she was still alive. Weeks passed. They had nothing. At some point, you know, there would be people that said, oh, I think I saw her at a gas station, or I think I saw her there. That's what happens when news goes national. People start seeing little things, and sometimes you can get off a track because you're looking at the wrong things, but at the same time, you're appreciative that people will at least call in. So there was all kinds of calls in. I want to say they said they got 500 tips or something like that, but none of them had any real evidence of what happened to her. The weird thing about it is this family, Sherri and her husband, they didn't even have social media at the time. They didn't have Facebook. They didn't have any of that. So they were very, very private people. It's not like they, you know, were always, you know, in the media and wanted to be in the media. They were very, very private. So now for Sherri's husband to be doing all of these interviews with 2020 and Dateline and all of this, pleading for any kind of information for his wife to come home, it made everybody get involved. They started a GoFundMe so they could hire private investigators. And I mean, the whole community, they had helicopters and dogs and just anything you could think of looking for this woman. And the only clue that they had was this cell phone on the ground with the headphones wrapped around it. She just vanished. She just disappeared. Then something kind of strange happened. This guy pops up that does these like investigative stuff on his own. And he pops up and he said that there was an anonymous person that put up $50,000 as reward money for anybody that would turn her in or have any clues that would lead to the finding of Sherri. So now there's $50,000 on the table. And the cops, you know, the cops, the FBI, the police department, they're doing their own investigation. And so now Sherri's husband is working another investigation, and they start putting out YouTube videos. And the YouTube videos are talking to the captors, and they're like, listen, if you drop her off right now, we will wire you this money of $50,000. And of course, a lot of people thought it was a joke. Like, yeah, right. Like, they're really going to like come and trade you $50,000 after they've just abducted this woman and they've got her for weeks and weeks, you know, like that's really going to happen. They put it out, nothing. Still didn't hear anything. So the next step was the same guy that made the YouTube videos about the $50,000 reward put out another video, and he said this time he was calling to the public. He said, I'm calling to the community. I've got this $50,000 reward to anybody that can bring her home. And he said, I don't care if you're a felon. I don't care if you're a criminal. I don't care if you're a teacher, a lawyer, or doctor, or whoever. Anybody that can bring Sherri home. I want all eyes on her. And this spread like wildfire. I mean, everybody was looking for Sherri. The next thing you know, about 20-ish days after she went missing and vanished, she was running down the road at nighttime, and she had branded on her shoulder. It was almost like a threat was branded on her shoulder. Her face was all bruised up. Her hair had been cut off. She had shackles around her legs. She was all beat up. She was standing on the side of the road flagging, trying to get cars to stop and get her, like, help me, help me, help me. And cars were flying past her because she looked scary. Some people said that they thought she was a inmate or a prisoner that had escaped and was asking for help. But one woman saw her and said that while she was driving, she could see the desperation in Sherri's eyes. So she pulled over, picked her up, took her to the hospital. Took her to the hospital. The cops are there, everything. They're testing her for DNA. They're testing everything. She's all shaken up, and they contact Sherri's husband. Sherri's husband was like freaking out, like, what? You guys have her? She's in the hospital? So he rushes to the hospital. He rushes past all the doctors. He sees the room where the curtain is. He pulls the curtain back, and he sees his wife. Gone for almost 3 weeks, and she doesn't even look like herself. She had been burned and beaten, and her beautiful long blonde hair was all chopped off. She was scared and shaken up. This had been a long road, but he said he just reached his arms around her and grabbed her and hugged her and cried. He said that the things that Sherri said happened to her while she was gone for those 3 weeks is indescribable, and he said that she's so strong. Now that we have the foundation of the story, we're going to talk about what Sherri said happened while she was gone. Now, she has not spoken to the media at all. She has not. And there's a lot of theories that are going on around about that, and we're going to talk about that too. But she said that 2 women pulled up while she was jogging, okay? She said they were 2 Hispanic women, and they did not speak very good English. They put a bag over her head, snatched her, put her into the truck or the van, and then they took her to a little room. And that's where they chained her up, and they beat her, and they said that when they found her, she weighed 87 pounds. They starved her, and all of this stuff. All of this crazy, crazy, crazy abusive stuff. She said that she didn't get a very good look at their face, that they had their faces covered. This is a sketch of what Sherri says the 2 women look like. And that for some reason, they released her. Now, the part that I did not mention before when I was talking about when she was running and then she was flagging the cars down or whatever, Sherri's husband said he got a phone call. And the phone call was, he answered the phone, and he heard Sherri screaming in the background. Screaming, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then they hung up. And then the next thing you know, they released her. Now, there is so many speculations going on around this case. Okay, there are people that feel like this is all just a hoax. Like, why would 2 women pick her up, you know, take her to a place, beat her, and then let her go? Why would they let her go? Okay. There's other speculations that are saying that, like, they did this to try to get their own reality show, that Sherri and her husband and the whole family planned this so they could try to get money from, you know, the donations, because their GoFundMe raised, I want to say, almost $50,000. And then they had an anonymous $50,000 person that donated money to help find her. There is so many there's speculations going around that Sherri has done substances and that she had mental illness and that she may have ran away or she was on something. There's also speculations going around that Sherri was seeing another man and that she ran off with the man, and then she realized that she was not happy, and the only way that she could come back was to make up this huge elaborate thing and pretend like she was abducted so it wasn't her fault, and that's what happened, and that's why she's not speaking to the media. There are people that really, really believe that she did all of this to cover up for an affair she was having against her husband. You guys, I'm going to give you guys some of my answers, and I know that some of you guys are going to disagree with me, and that is okay. That is completely okay. One of my very, very, very good friends completely disagrees with me and feels like she feels. And I think she was abducted. I think that really happened. I think everything that she said really happened. Don't come for me. I know some of y'all are coming for me right now. I want to know what y'all think too below. I do think she was abducted. And a lot of people are saying like, why women? Well, you know, women do shady stuff just like men do shady stuff, okay? It could have really been two women that abducted her and pulled over on the side of the road and threw a bag over her head. This type of thing, I know that a lot of people feel like the whole trafficking thing isn't really real because you don't see it. Out of sight, out of mind. But I'm here to tell you guys that is real. Okay, that is real. I have seen and watching, I've even watched TED Talks where women were lured into the blank trafficking by women. Okay, women that are in on this type of thing. I mean, look at the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. His alleged partner that lured in all these women was a woman. Okay, that makes complete sense to me. Why would they let her go? I think that they were planning on trafficking her because you see all of this stuff of what they do. They hold these women that they're trafficking. They hold them hostage like that. They hold them captive like that. And I think that this story got way too big that they were afraid that they couldn't sell her and nobody would want to touch her. And so they decided it would be better to let her go. Thank God they didn't take her life though. Thank God they did not. And why is she not spoken out to the media? She's probably got some really bad PTSD. I mean, I could just imagine if that was me and I was missing my children and all of that, I would literally be praying to God saying, God, just let me get out of here. Just let me, like, and the moment that you actually do get out, especially if she saw other women in there. I mean, we don't know what all she saw because she hasn't spoken out. But like, the moment that you get out, like all you want to do is be with your family. And then all these rumors are coming that you're a liar and you're just like, why does she want to speak out to the media? Supposedly her neighbors say that they never see her or her kids. Now I can understand if they never see her, but the fact that the neighbors never see the kids makes me believe that she's terrified. She don't even want her own kids to go outside. So I believe the story. I believe that it really happened. I mean, her and her husband didn't even have social media. Like, why would they want a reality show? They didn't even have Facebook or Instagram. You know what I mean? Like, why would they want that? And as far as like, in my personal opinion, did they do it for the ransom money? Putting yourself through all of that is not worth $50,000 or $100,000. Like, I personally can't believe that. So that is my opinion on the story. I think it's true. What do you think? I love you guys so much. I wish we could all sit around and like have this conversation. Y'all can tell me what you think. I can tell you what I think. It would be so much fun. But yeah, if you guys have any requests for other things or other opinions or other stories that you guys want me to do, leave them down below. Other than that, I've got some really cool stuff coming up for you guys. I'm on the Heidi case like white on rice, baby. When I tell you guys, the Heidi case... The Megan chick is getting ready to go to court and I'm just waiting. I've got a bunch of information put together for you guys, but I'm waiting for what happens in court to make that video. We're following this case. We are following this case. Me and you. Yes, me and you. All right, my loves. Other than that, please, as always, do not forget to like this video. It's a free way that you can help your girl out. And until next time, I love you guys so very much. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.